Welcome to Cosmic Comics, Games and Collectibles, your zen of geekism. We carry comics old and new, magazines, toys, games like Pokemon, Magic, D&D. Want Godzilla, Ultraman, Star Trek, Ninja Turtles, Funko Pops? You'll find it all here. Shop our Cosmic Sound Room and pick up a record or two. Enjoy our Comic Coffee Lounge with a cup of Sasquatch coffee or a delicious menu item while geeking out over a super cool movie on our big screen. Come by and say hello to Maui. Cosmic Comic, Games and Collectibles. Superman loves us, and so will you.
Nini time! Kecil sinadita! Nin-Nin! Kecil sinadita!
Thanks for watching. I'm Daddy Duda and welcome to Nin-Nin, Nini, a comic created by me, a loving father, for his beautiful daughter, Nina. My dog's in it too. He's a cute boy, isn't he? And here's a bit of feedback I got from an early backer. Please consider backing and making my daughter Nina's day. Thanks for watching, Janet.
Bye-bye!
And good evening, everybody, or good morning, depending on where you are, because tonight's one of those multi-hemispherical nights. I am RJ Carter, Senior Managing Editor here at CriticalBlast.com, where pop culture gets blasted. And tonight, I get the answer to a question I've posed a number of times on this show over the past several weeks, and that is, why are we not seeing any crowdfunded comics come out of Japan? Because, the manga is, the hot thing. It's outselling the Western comics, and, Americans and Australians and, Britons, they're all crowdfunding these Western type comics. And I'm like, I'm not seeing anything manga on there. I'm seeing a few American manga. I know, obviously Common America has that flavor to it. And technically, I guess it could be manga, but it's not coming out of Japan. It's not, from that area. Well, tonight we have with us Mr. CG Japan. Wow, I'm changing colors on my screen. I've got to figure out how to do that more often. Mr. CG Japan, Paul Duder is here, and he has a comic book that's being crowdfunded out of Japan. Paul, welcome to the show.
Ohayou gozaimasu. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm not bad. Not too bad today. Yeah, so I'm in Japan, but I'm not Japanese. I'm a UK guy, but I live in Japan. Yeah.
I could tell the accent wasn't quite there, but I bet you speak a lot of Japanese.
No, Japanese is super difficult. It's so difficult. I gave up. So yeah.
All the Japanese I know I learned from Ultraman and Styx.
Yeah, I can survive. Yeah, like if I go to the doctor, yeah, I can do that in Japanese. But anything kind of more like a detailed conversation, no chance.
Oh.
Yeah, it's kind of it's super
Pick
difficult.
It up from your daughter.
Yeah, well, she's only 4, so. Oh.
Now she's the daughter that was in the video that we just saw that was promoting the
book?
Okay.
No, that's my youngest daughter. That's Eddie.
Okay,
she's 2.
She's gonna pick it up. Both your children will be fluent in it, and they'll be able to talk behind Dad's back, and he won't know what they're saying.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
You're gonna have to learn the Japanese for like, Dad's such an idiot. Just so you can know, hey, I heard that.
Yeah, I know all the like shut up, all that kind of Japanese. Dad, you're a daddy's idiot. Yeah, I know all that.
So,
So
So-
yeah, I love. Oh,
Yeah.
go on, carry on.
no, you're right.
Yeah, I love anime. So you hear all these like fool and all these kind of phrases from the anime. So I know all of them. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not learning any English from the anime I'm watching, and I'm still fairly new to it. I'm watching Darwin's Game, so it's like, oh, I'm getting the English dub so I can understand it. I'm doing it backwards. I got the English dub and the Japanese subtitles, but I don't read Japanese, so it's not like I can put the two together.
Yeah,
even
if it's the other way around, Japanese dub, English subtitles, it's like Japanese is like speaking like Yoda 24/7. It's kind of backwards.
grammar does that. Yeah, you end with the verb or something.
Yeah.
And what's weird is like the theme songs. First of all, the English translations of anime theme songs make absolutely no sense at all. I'm just like, well, I finished watching, what was it, Sword Art Online, and
Yeah.
like, you know, if we had Sword Art Online as an American show, the theme song would have been, you know, like da 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 da, Sword Art Online, da 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 da, Sword Art Online, and here it's like this, like, you know, my heart opens up to the sky and I reach for you, crying and weeping with feelings of passion. I'm like, what? That makes no sense. You know, I'm convinced, you know, we had to redo some of the songs that we got for other songs. You know, Mach Go 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 probably didn't start off here comes Speed Racer, because that's just too American. We like, make the song about the show.
Yeah, I think they just pick a popular like pop band and just write a song to use as the opening, and then they just write a song.
Well, and then, you know, I do have the phonetic Japanese subtitles on, and I can hear. I don't have it on, but it's like they're playing it over it anyway. And I'll watch the song, and I'm like, okay, I can kind of make out that that's what they said. But if I were to read that word, it would have not have sounded anything like the way they said it. The accents are on the wrong syllables all the time. When I look at them, like, I would not have said it like that. But okay, it's a learning experience, and I guess the more I watch it, the more I'll figure it out.
I don't know. I've been into anime for like 30 plus years. And I still can't speak Japanese. And I only ever watched the Japanese dub with English subtitles. I never watched the English dubs.
So you sit down and read a movie.
Yeah, basically, yeah. I think that like the Japanese voice actors are way better than the English voice actors. So I don't watch. I prefer the Japanese dubs.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I maybe because there's so few English voice actors for Japanese films. But it's like there's only 3 people in all of anime when I'm watching them. There's like, oh, Hero Boy, and there's like, and Squeaky Mouse Girl. That's the only 2. I said there were 3. Oh, there must be like, you know, and then there's Raspy Little Kid Boy, and that's it. It's you.
Yeah.
I listen to any scene from any anime, and I could not tell you what that was from, even if it's one I've seen, because they all just sound the same. It's the same actors. But never mind the anime. We're talking about kind of the manga here. I mean, we're going to call it manga because you're in Japan and producing the book.
Well, it's a comic, but it's manga-ish in its length and its story. It's not, although that's only 32 pages. Like my story is going to be very, very long. So
yeah, manga is 32 volumes.
Yeah, it's going to be many volumes probably.
And 30 of those are a fight scene.
Yeah.
We have a very active chat here tonight, ready to watch us. Eric Kent is out there in the chat. Eric, happy you're here. Happy Friday to you. BAP2, welcome, sir. Glad to see you here. Lorenzo Sleestack out there. Thank you for popping in.
Hello.
So, Paul, how long have you been into comics? And were you into comics before, presumably you weren't born in Japan. You said you're a UK fellow.
Yeah. So, I've been in Japan like 6 years. So, like, when I was growing up, I was into comics, but, like in America, there's comic shops quite a lot of places. But when in London, there's not many comic shops when I was growing up. So you'd buy your comics from the local newsagent. And comics at that time, they had this like stigma. Comics are for kids. And when you get to a certain age, you stop. You don't read comics. And if you do read comics, you're strange. So like when I got to about 16, I kind of stopped for a while. And I wanted to be a man. I wanted to be an adult. So I kind of stopped because of social pressure, maybe. And then when I was in my early 20s, I come across some anime and manga, and it just hooked me. And I've been into anime and manga from my 20s. Although I was classified as a weirdo because I like manga and anime.
The weirdo part, but you finally gave in to what you like.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, carry on.
Well, I'm sorry, but living in Japan the last 6 years, I'm curious about this because I see the numbers, and the numbers are just mind-boggling. When I see the number of copies of the last issue of Demon Slayer against the number of copies for the last issue of Batman, and it's like I put them on a graph. It's like Demon Slayer was like, and Batman's like, beep, like Batman. How can Batman be? And I looked. It's like 80-something million copies of that sold. And I'm like, okay, Google, how many people live in Japan? 120 million. I'm like, that's 2/3 of the population.
Well, it's 82 million for the entire series last year. So not of just one issue.
Oh,
so
I thought the last issue was 82 million.
No. For the entire series last year, they sold 82 million copies.
Okay, that was not being presented correctly then.
Yeah, usually they per issue, they make about 10 million per issue. The top ones, like One Piece, Kingdom's very popular. They all like the top 4 or 5. They're all around about 10 to 12 million.
Still, 10 to 12 million you're like,
per issue. Yeah,
that's comics. We haven't had that since the 40s.
But like manga is everywhere here, and digital manga particular. It's if you go on the subway in the morning, you just look at people. Everybody's reading manga on their smartphone,
and they're not weird.
No, I like when I first come to Japan. It's like I thought it's like, yeah, look, there's an old guy. God, he's reading manga, and then God, there's an old woman. She's reading manga too. But yeah, they're not weird. It's part of their subculture, part of the pop culture that manga is universally accepted.
I wonder how they did that, because we had comic books first. So we've got a head start on them as far as being able to get it to inculcate into the culture, and yet they come along in the 50s, I think.
Atom and them, they started around at that time in the 50s.
Everywhere, and everyone does it.
It's because I think it's because so Western comics is aimed at a particular demographic, men. Yeah, that's the demographic they go for. Whereas Japanese comics is aimed at everybody. There's a comic for everyone. There's shonen, josei, shonen for young kids, josei for young girls. Then there's adult male, adult female, like for gay guys, lesbian girls. There's a comic for everybody. So that's why their numbers is so big. So people talk about in the West about making comics more inclusive to include everybody. But Japan's been doing it for years. You think of a genre, there's a genre for comics for it.
Yeah, and if every time they try in the West to do it, they fail colossally. They just can't. I don't know if they need different writers with different outlooks, because it's not working. We're not.
Yeah, it's because in the West, I think it's still only these. Like, it's only a typical. If you look at the majority of your customers, 95% of them are male.
Yeah.
Probably within a certain age group, like maybe 30 to 50, 25 to 50, where, and they're not doing anything to attract people from other demographics. But what they're doing, they're trying to change the market for for the demographic they have, to say, oh, you need to watch this kind of comic. But that's not good business sense, is it? If they want to get more customers, write comics for the other customers.
Exactly.
But
even then, it's a huge hurdle to get over, because comics in general have the stigma. So you can have something this would be perfect for your grandmother who likes to cook. But she's going to see it and say, it's a comic book. I don't read comic books. So we'd have to start making them at a loss, knowing that it's going to take 10 years of these books being out here getting discovered before there's a cultural shift.
I don't think there's ever going to be a cultural shift in the West.
Because they can't do it. They can't do that kind of launch.
I think, like, if you look at in Japan, young people are very much into manga. Yeah, like I said, I'm a school teacher and I teach at elementary school, and all the kids, everybody is into manga. Well, not everybody, but 95% of them, they all read manga.
Yeah,
where if you look at,
there's no general demographic that, as a demographic, doesn't have people in it that read manga. It's not like well, CEOs don't read manga. Yeah, there's CEOs that are reading manga.
Yeah, everybody reads it. It's part of the Japanese pop culture to read manga, whereas Western pop culture, comics aren't for everybody, and you until you can change that viewpoint, you're never going to attract other customers.
Yeah, the Ryan Cardinal is correct here. We had this thing happen in our history with Frederick Wortham. We had the Wortham trials. The House Un-American Activities Committee, the HUAC, and all the publishers were brought before Congress. We enacted the Comics Code Authority, which pretty much stripped every genre we had being published down to the only ones that were safe, and that was superhero. And that was only if the superheroes were done for camp. So, we got rid of all the romance where there was, real romance and attraction and everything. We got rid of all the horror. Obviously, that's the one that people focus on because the violence and the gore. And now, like, if God forbid an American publisher in 1950s Wortham era tried to publish tentacle hentai, that would have killed the entire superheroes would not have survived. And in Japan, it's another one of those. Okay.
Japan. It's I think so. If you look at Japanese history, when the samurai were in charge, and that's probably up to the Meiji Restoration, culture was very regimented by how the samurai viewpoint was. And then once the samurai were abolished, Western viewpoints started to come in. So their culture started to kind of shift and they become much more experimental. And that's probably why there's so much manga. So many different types of manga. It's part of their culture to experiment and try new things.
And it's that way because it was repressed for so long, you think, that they just open up?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Also, Japanese people don't really tell you what they're thinking. so they're still repressed in their emotions a little bit. Like it's difficult to understand sometimes what they're thinking, but they express their emotions in trying different things. So some part of the culture is kind of still repressed, but some parts are very open to trying new things. It's difficult to understand in Japan sometimes.
Well, you hear, you can get manga in a vending machine on the corner, and then you hear, yeah, and that's not all you can get in the vending machine at the corner of Japan.
Actually, I've never seen any of them. I went looking when I first went to Japan. I went looking for one of these vending machines. I never found one, but
not a one. Okay, well, you're in the wrong town. Apparently, you've got to be, right in the heart of Tokyo, or Neo Tokyo, I guess.
Yeah, maybe there's one in Shinjuku somewhere, but I never found one. I wanted to find one as well, just to take a photo, but I never found one.
Lorenzo Sleestack says, didn't EC Comics make a comic book where people were playing a ball game with a human head? Yes, and more. Although their more famous image was the heroin needle being injected or nearly injected into a helpless woman's eyeball. The needle in the eye scene. Everyone remembers that. If you actually read Seduction of the Innocent, which I had the opportunity to do so, that was it wasn't in reprint at the time. I had to actually go to the library and request it as a reference book. And then they wouldn't let me leave with it. So I had to Xerox all the pages I wanted to read. Gingy Gingerton's in the chat. Welcome, sir. Glad to see you, Mark. So let's talk about Nin-Nin Nini. Am I saying that
Yeah.
right?
Nin-Nin Nini.
Nin-Nin Nini.
Yeah.
And the Crown Thief. So who
Yeah.
is Nin-Nin Nini? That's
So right, okay. So Nin-Nin, this is like the ninja phrase for when they're doing their ninja magic. Japanese pop culture phrase. Every child knows it.
They're the ninjas who say nin.
Nin-Nin. Yeah, they all go around going Nin-Nin and holding. If you ever seen Naruto, they do the finger seals where so the kids always run around doing special finger seal and like Nin-Nin, Nin-Nin. It's part of Japanese pop culture.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not very stealthy.
So, yeah, when my daughter was 2, about 2, she's 4 now. I got into doing digital art, and one day I thought, yeah, she kept saying Nin-Nin, and I thought, okay, let's write a story for her. So I did a drawing of a ninja, and my daughter's name is Nina, but my nickname for her is Nini. I always call her Nini. So this is Nin-Nin Nini. She's the hero of my comic.
So sort of like if it were, to Americanize a bit, this is Ninja Nini.
Ninja Nini, yeah, maybe,
okay.
Yeah. But Nin-Nin Nini, yeah. So she's the inspiration. Because this comic started out as just something I wrote for my daughter. And then I thought, actually, it's really good. I like the story. So then I thought, yeah, I'll try and go indie comic route with it. But it just started as just a project for my daughter.
Yeah, I love those books too. By the way, I mean I've had the opportunity to talk with and purchase different books from comics creators who did this for that exact same reason. The Pillow Man and Blanket Boy.
Yeah.
Sean was doing that because his son was creating it. Super Cat was another one that, father and son team. Obviously, Littlest Umbrella is, the project that that umbrella guy works on for his daughter. So seeing this and kind of knowing that you were doing it for your daughter I was like, yeah, we need more of these. Let's talk about that. So how involved is she? She's 2, so I'm not gonna say
she's 4. She's 4 now.
4.
4, yeah.
But is she like involved at any level in the creation, or does she even pay attention to the story that you're telling?
No, but she's interested. She knows it's her comic, and I when I'm doing the pages, I show her the page. Oh, look at this, and she's like, "Oh, Nini!" I'm like, "Me, Nini!" I'm like, "Yeah, that's your comic." So she knows I'm doing the comic. The dog in it. This is my dog as well.
Yeah, and you have
Leo.
Dog.
Yeah, Leo. That he's my dog in real life as well. So the comic is my daughter and my dog.
and there's a stolen crown. So
A stolen crown. Yeah, she's ninja, and then she's got to find the stolen Bichon crown. So kind of the world which this is set, the culture revolves around dogs. Dogs are the most important thing in their culture, and there's 12 countries which form the dog kingdoms. Each country is named after a dog breed. So in this case, there's Bichon, the Bichon crown. Bichon's a breed of dog, and the crown gets stolen, and then Nini has to track it down and find the crown.
it's a simple enough plot for a child to get interested in and follow all the way through.
Yeah, but this is just the opening story arc, the introduction arc. The story is much deeper as we go into it, but this is the opening story, the first story arc.
Now, how long is your story arc? I know the book is 32 pages, but do you have?
So this story arc, this is going to be maybe 4 comics, 3 or 4 for the first arc. Yeah. So I'm working on book 2. Book 2 is 36 pages, and then I've done all the pencils, and I'm about halfway through doing the inking. So it's in progress. And then book 3, I wrote the script for already. Book 4, I haven't done the script yet, but I know what's happening. I've done like a bullet point plan of what's happening, but I haven't started book 4 yet.
So if you're working on those books, I'm guessing that book 1 is at least 90% done, or
book 1's finished. Yeah, it's ready to print. Yeah.
Is it black and white or color?
It's color. Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
I ask obviously because the pictures we're looking at here are black and white, and the faces aren't.
Yeah. That's from book 2. That's some of the pages from book 2. This particular page that you're looking at, that's one of the perks in book 2, which is we have an organization called the Dog Inquisition. Do you know Spanish Inquisition?
Nobody expects that.
They're like the Spanish Inquisition, but about dogs. So in this world, only nobles can own a pedigree dog. Commoners can't own a pedigree. And the Dog Inquisition, they go around hunting illegal pedigree ownership. And they're kind of really horrible people. They're one of the bad sects of villains. There's 3 or 4 different in the main storyline. There's 3 different bad groups of bad people, the villains, and this is one of the groups, the Dog Inquisition. Yeah, so that
kind of dressed in Spaniard attire.
Yeah, well, yeah, I took the inspiration from the Spanish Inquisition, and then I thought, oh yeah, that looks like a good outfit for the Dog Inquisition. Yeah. So that's a drawn-in perk. If you back that perk, you get your face drawn in. You get a copy from book 1, and then you get a copy of book 2 when it's finished, and you get your face drawn in.
All right. So we've got. So now we're looking. I'm assuming these are from book 1 now because they are colored.
These are from book 1, yeah.
Okay. So we got it's Mothra.
That's Beelzebuz.
Oh, Beelzebuz.
Beelzebuz, yeah. So they have Nimpot, which is like the ninja magic. And this is the Queen Bee's Rage. So she summons a bee swarm, and then she turns it into Beelzebuz. So if you imagine the Queen Bee is really angry because somebody's trashing her hive, so she turns all the bees into a giant bee demon, and so this is Beelzebuz.
It's sort of like a 3 million part Voltron.
Yeah, a giant bee demon.
And then there's Nini is ready to spring into action. It's Nin-Nin.
Yeah, it's ninja time. Yeah.
Now she's wearing a Nin. She was wearing a bee before. Now is that something in Japanese culture that is there all the time? Because I see a lot of things where they're like slap a letter on the chest and just off to the side, and nobody ever mentions, and it doesn't really stand for anything sometimes.
Well,
I'm like, why is there a G on?
Yeah. N stands for Nini. That's her name. And B is for Bichon. Do you know Hong Kong Fooey?
I know Hong Kong. He's the #1 super guy.
Yeah, that's right. So he's one of my inspirations for this story. I don't want to say because it'll ruin the story, but Nini's a little bit like Hong Kong Fooey.
Chow, chicka chow, chicka chow, chow, chow.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, he's one of the inspirations for this story.
I haven't heard anybody talk about Hong Kong Fooey in years.
Actually, this came to me last night. I was walking my dog, and then I thought, actually, my story's a little bit like Hong Kong Fooey. There's a bit of inspiration there. Yeah, I used to love that cartoon when I was growing up.
Oh, we have some violence and some blood.
Yeah,
did not expect that.
Yeah, he's one of the bad guys. That's Zigu, the gun zealot.
He pierced that guy's ears.
Yeah, he shoots the guy's ears off. Yeah, he's renowned for having huge feet.
The shooter?
Yeah, the shooter. Yeah. That I don't want to ruin the story, but he's got big feet, and that's how they kind of work out something about him. He's got huge feet.
Oh, and now they're all going after Nini.
Yeah, Nini killed that kid. Yeah, she's saving somebody, and then she's like, "Don't do it. I wouldn't do it if I were you." So she's just about to summon Beelzebub.
Oh, so Beelzebub is on her side now.
Yeah, Beelzebub. She summoned Beelzebub. Yeah, like ninja magic.
So here are the completed books. So when you say it's not like it's ready to go to the printer, it's completed.
Well, there's some test prints I did with the printer a while back.
Okay.
I wanted to see what it looked like, because this is my first comic. I did everything myself, and I was a bit nervous. What's it going to look like? So I got a few test prints done to see what it looks like. Yeah, and I'm super happy with the way it looks.
Yeah,
for my first comic, I thought it was really good. But
and then we got some more inked pages here from book 2.
Yeah, from book 2. Yeah.
So you had not drawn any comics before wanting to set out to do this one for your daughter.
That's correct. Yeah. Yeah, my first. So I used to work in what was called an eikaiwa, which is an English conversation school. And one of my regular students was like an indie manga writer. Okay. And he one day he came in and said, "Hey, look at my iPad Pro." That's when they first came out. And look at the pencil. Oh yeah, that looks cool. I want one of them. And then he said, "Yeah, I draw manga." And I'm like, "Oh, do you?" So that was the inspiration for me to start doing digital art, because I hadn't done any before then.
So what kind of training did you put yourself through, or did you just sit down and start drawing until it got better?
Yeah, I just I use Clip Studio, and Clip Studio is really good software. I can get things looking, if I draw traditional style, like if I draw on Bristol boards, my art's not so good. But if I draw digital, it looks much better. Yeah, Clip Studio's got lots of things that can help me. Yeah. So digital for me, I'm 100% digital, and yeah, I learned everything
about the tools that could come in after and kind of guide you in digital.
Yeah.
I would thought with it's like an Etch-a-Sketch. You're drawing on it, and then you can shake it if you need to. And
yeah, digital's lovely. If I get it wrong, erase.
Exactly.
Undo. Yeah, digital's really cool.
You can't do that with ink. You have a big picture and you get down to the last bit and you screw up the ink. It's like, okay, I gotta draw that over again.
Yeah. So my traditional skills. Sorry?
Keep going. I overtalk all the time. Just I'll stop.
Oh yeah. So I put the comic together within maybe 2 years. But I got young kids, so my comic drawing time is extremely limited. Like a couple of hours in the evening when they gone to bed, I get the iPad out, I start drawing. So it took me a while to get it together, but yeah, comics is great. And it's very, very, very much. I really like it. Yeah, it's fun.
So you got 20 days left on this campaign. It's a flexible goal, so you're
Yeah.
going to fulfill regardless.
Yeah,
You got $502 American dollars is all you're asking for here. Whoa, 55,000 yen. I never realized how big the number conversion was.
yeah. You basically you add another zero, and then that's about right. Yeah.
So you can get this in digital for $4 US. That's
Yeah,
that's really cheap. And I know we have a lot of people who prefer the digital, especially if you're going to be. Are you going to be shipping from Japan, or are you going to print in the
No.
US?
I'm printing in the US. If you're in the US, the printer said they can ship, so it's a little bit cheaper. If you're anywhere else, I'm going to ship from Japan. The printer is sent to me, and then I'll ship from Japan. But from US, shipping from US, the printer's going to ship directly. They can do American fulfillment for me.
Okay.
So the costs for America are a little bit cheaper.
Are they going? I hope they're going to put it in a Gemini mailer and all that good stuff, and not treat it like a catalog.
Yeah. I did this campaign a while ago, but like at that time, Indiegogo told me we're no longer supporting Japan. You got to launch this campaign now. So I launched the campaign, and I wasn't ready at all. The book wasn't done. I didn't have to do any social media to try and raise attention.
Sure.
But luckily, I managed to stretch. I managed to hit the target, and then eventually I got the book done very late. I was about 8 months late. But one of the customers who was in America, and the printer shipped to him, he told me, yeah, it was bagged and boarded, and it come in a Gemini mailer. So
good deal.
Yeah. So it was good. Yeah.
All right. So if you do want the physical copy of this, it's $10 US. I would have to.
Yeah.
I'm going to take it off the screen for just a moment, and I'm going to click through. Keep all that credit card nonsense off the. You never want to really share that. Okay, so the cost is 10. The shipping is 11, so it's a $21 book total. Here in the United States.
Yeah, 11 for Japan, and 25 for anywhere else in the world.
All right, so now I'm back, and I can bring it back onto the screen. And that's just for the book. You don't
just
have
for the book, yeah.
For stretch goals, anything.
Yeah, we got some stretch goals. If I meet the $500 target, you get one trading card.
Okay.
Then if I get 100,000 yen, which is just under a grand, you get another trading card, and then I got another one which is 150,000 yen. But I haven't decided what I'm going to do for that one yet. I got some ideas, but I'll wait and see how it goes before I announce that one.
You've also got a variant copy here. You don't have any artwork in these things, in these sidebars over here, and I don't recall seeing any large scale covers over here. Might help the campaign if you did that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can put
it. So the pictures.
Yeah, if you go to that one. So the first one you see with the big face, that's the standard copy, cover. The one with the Nini and the dog, that's the variant cover.
Okay, yeah, because I don't think that was very clear.
Okay, yeah, I'll change that. Thanks for that advice. That's great.
Well, I don't know if you'll be able to change it on the right side, but you can definitely do it when you talk about the campaign here. Like, it'd be the first thing I put up is a great big color picture of the cover, and just call it cover, and underneath of it variant cover.
Yeah. Okay. Lovely. Good. I'll do that.
All part of the service.
Thanks. Yeah, so the variant cover is limited to 19
Wow.
because I didn't think, I like, originally I was just going to do 20, but my friend bought one. My friend said, "Yeah, I'll take one." So I sold one to him.
We printed just 20 of them.
So yeah, I'm just doing 20. Yeah.
Okay. Paul, if you're going to have a limited number like that, you got to print at least 5 more than what you have. If only for the purpose of somebody saying, "Hey, mine came back bent." So
Yeah.
you have another replacement to get back to them. And surely that's not going to be printed in the U.S.
Oh, the variant cover, yeah. Everything's printed in the US.
It's print to order. Why are you only printing 19 of them?
Like the printer has print any number I can print. So yeah, I can print 20. It's fine.
Oh, okay. I just thought you would be, if you're printing in the U.S. and you're in Japan, you could tell them print 20, print 30, print 50, because they're going to fire it off. And I would think it'd be very expensive just to print 20 copies per unit. It gets cheaper the more you print, right?
Yeah, but this printer, they have price breaks, but the price break for it only goes up at 100. It gets cheaper when it's 100.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but as I'm a newbie, I don't think I'm going to sell 100.
Well,
but you never know. You never know. Yeah.
You do have you do have the optimistic perk for a newbie who doesn't think he's going to sell much. You've got the T-shirt, so.
Oh yeah, actually that's sold 3 already.
Yeah,
people
want that.
3 out of 5, yeah.
And again, only 5. Okay, so you're limiting your market. You're going to sell as many of the physical copies as possible, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did he limit the digital?
No. So as it's my first book, and judging from the number of copies that more like established comic artists sell, I looked at the numbers they sell. I didn't think I was going to get a huge number, so I thought if I make it somewhat limited, these might sell out. Is my thinking behind it.
That's there's sense to that. Like the people who say I'm going to set a $500 fixed goal so that knowing they're going to sell $600 or more the first day, suddenly the algorithm gets triggered and they're like, oh look, Indiegogo loves this project because it's already met its goal and it's only an hour old and it gets front page listing and all that good stuff. But wait a second now. So you are printing more than 20 because on this tier you get the print copy.
Oh, you get a variant.
Okay,
yeah.
So, okay, it's distributed. There's more than 20 total.
Yeah, I'm printing more.
Yeah. Good. Because do they have manga conventions in Japan, or do they even need to?
They have 2 indie manga conventions. One is the big one is called Comiket, but that's more of people doing like fan manga of established series, and then they have one called Komita, which is more of indie manga. And I'm going to do that maybe next year, maybe first convention.
Quantity to sell. What was that first one called again?
Komita.
Okay, that's the Indian one, Komita, and then the other
one. Comiket. Comiket. Actually, Comiket that is held in this big convention center over 2 days, and they get like 1 million people going.
Oh my God.
It's this, yeah. They get it's just huge numbers going to this huge convention center. I think it's
also astounding too.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to do one of them conventions.
I thought you were
going to
play your character. Wait a second. might be so much fun. You can dress up as a dog acquisition character.
I might get my daughter to come and put her in the Nini outfit.
There you go. Bring your daughter, bring your dog.
Yeah.
they can walk around together and they're cosplaying.
Yeah.
Cosplaying themselves. This is, of course, the one you've already talked about, where you are selling for $50. That's it.
Yeah.
Wow. So, okay, $50, folks. You can be drawn into issue 2. You saw the page earlier where the face is already ready to receive it. You can be drawn in, and when issue number 2 comes out in February of 2022, it's going to be coming out right on the heels of your first one, which is coming out in November.
Well, hopefully February, but yeah.
Yeah, it says estimated for a reason. Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully.
It's
but
reasonable.
As close, as close as I can get to it. So, like I said, it's in the process. I'm about halfway through the inking, so the lettering's been done. So all I just got to do is the coloring afterwards. Yeah.
So a print copy of Nin-Nin Nini #1 and a print copy of Nin-Nin Nini #2 that your face will be in.
Yeah.
Now, is the person in? I'm looking at the word balloons here. So there's nowhere wherever the person says, where she says, who are you? And he says, I'm Sergeant so-and-so or Corporal this or that. So it'll be the face, but there won't be a name there that says, I'm Captain Carter, not that Captain Carter.
You're just a member of the dog acquisition. Yeah.
Yeah. But it'd be one of those things where I was figuring out, it's like you take your comic book into work, say, look, they drew me into the comic, and they're like, yeah, that looks like you, but what makes you think it is you? I paid for it. Where does it say that? So I didn't know if there was any kind of an attribution kind of page that would say.
At the back, I'll put special thanks.
Excellent.
To special thanks to such and such. Yeah, at the back.
Now, I'm not surprised this sold out. I am surprised that you priced it so cheap. A one-of-a-kind cover. One.
Yeah.
$55. I'm used to seeing something like that for $1,500 we'll print you just one cover.
Yeah, well, again, I'm a newbie, so I didn't think that if $1,500, no one's going to pay $1,500.
I know, but there's a fine line between way overselling yourself as a newbie and way underrating your talent.
Yeah.
I think you could bring it up a little bit next time.
Yeah, maybe the next book. Once I get a bit of stuff, I'll bring it up a bit. But yeah.
But so yeah, this looks like a fun, innocent kind of adventure. I say innocent, and then I remember the guy shot his ears off. So
it's kind of like shonen manga in like there's violence, but it's not over the top. There's fighting, but it's what would be considered okay for teenagers, for young kids.
Yeah.
Like Kimetsu no Yaiba. Do you know?
It's easy for you.
Yeah. that is super popular in Japan. Even I teach elementary school, and 8-year-olds like it, and that's pretty graphic. Like there's people getting heads cut off, but that's considered acceptable for young kids. So this is kind of the same. There's some violence, but it's not OTT.
Well, Paul, we've got a moment here in the show that we love to reach, and that is called our shake and bake moment. I just refreshed the screen, and as you'll see, you have gained another backer. So
nice!
You are now at
Thank you very much.
So that's what kicks off our shake and bake moment.
It's shake and bake, and I help.
Where somebody in the chat helped the campaign to achieve its goal. So thank you, whoever did that. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
You look good, guys. It just looks like. I was going to ask, what kind of reception you're marketing this largely to the West because you're going through Indiegogo. I've not seen a lot of Japanese purchases Indiegogo comics, and you know, I'm speaking as a shipper. I see the addresses,
Yeah.
where things are going.
Yeah. I don't think Japanese know at all about Indiegogo. So
Well, they're buying them out of vending machines. Why should they go to the internet?
yeah, like manga is so readily available here, and like if you're charging like some like the indie comics, they charge $25. You wouldn't be able to sell that to a Japanese person because you can get a manga book for 400 yen, which is like $4.
Yeah,
You get graphic novels for much. So it's yeah, Japanese don't really know about indie comics and
the
Indiegogo.
method is it's still appealing to the collectible market.
Yeah,
It's $25, but hey, there's only 200 of them printed, so you know, and yeah, in the West that still becomes a collectible because you'll see the books go up on eBay later on, and they'll be higher than the 25 that you paid for them.
yeah. So there's two like Western comic shops in Tokyo, and I'm thinking of taking some books there and say, do you want to sell them for me?
Well, that was
You
my
know.
next question: was how you were going to market, you know, yourself locally.
Yeah, so I'm going to take some copies there, and then, like I said, I'm going to do the Komita convention maybe next year.
Print a bunch of them because you know you're gonna sell 20 of them here on Indiegogo, and then you're gonna need 2 million more in Japan because
yeah, I'm gonna I'm gonna buy as much as I can, yeah, based on the what I make, and then put a bit of my savings towards buying some. I want at least enough that I can go to the convention with maybe 100 copies.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, folks, if you're watching this on the replay and if you've been watching all along live, you know the link is right below the video. It's the very first line. It takes you to Indiegogo. You can click it during the live stream, and it won't take you away from the YouTube. So,
yeah, please check it out.
Please do check it out. You know, let's get Paul enough here where he doesn't just have to fulfill this, but he can actually print off those extra copies and take his work and his daughter to the Kamitsa convention in Japan, and get Nin-Nin, Nini, and the Crown Thief out to a bigger audience than we are, apparently.
Yeah, that's my long-term goal. That I can give up English teaching and just earn a nice little living as an indie comic artist, just drawing comics.
Yes.
Yeah, because my plan for this comic is it's going to be quite a lot of volumes. So I'd love to be able to just work on comics and make more. So like instead of doing
the Crown Thief, I mean, she's going to find that thief in the first 3 or 4 issues. There will be Nin-Nin, Nini, and something else after that, right?
Yeah. Actually, I got a comic for my other daughter as well, which I got to start as well.
Very nice.
So yeah, I got 2 very good stories, one for one daughter, one for the other daughter, which
so
I got to do.
Here in the West is you have a lot of creators they're creating comic books with the Netflix deal in mind. Do you have a lot of mangaka or mangaka? I don't know how to say it. Who create manga with, you know, the anime deal in mind?
Well, yeah, I think most of the mangaka just want to get published, but like getting published as a mangaka is kind of difficult and also kind of super stressful. I hear the page rates they pay, especially for a new guy that's going to be published, is really low.
Yeah,
like 5,000 yen a page. What's that? $50. Yeah, the page. Yeah, that's really low. So, and then the like, because if you're doing like a weekly book where you're going in like Shonen Jump or something like that, like you got to do 10 to 12 pages a week, and they all have assistants, and the mangaka has to pay for these assistants.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, a lot of them are running on like a they're not making much profit.
Yeah, but I mean,
And,
are they dreaming of the anime deal? So if their manga gets picked up for
no,
adaptation.
I don't think they. I think if it gets published, I think the publisher gets most of the money.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you get it. It's just like over here. Then you sold your comic to DC. They made a movie out of it, and you got a tiny little check, and they made.
yeah, yeah. Like the so was it the One Piece guy order? Like his net worth is like 200 million, but if you look at how much money's been made from that comic over 25 years, yeah, he's not getting much. He's only getting a couple of percent of it as royalties, I guess.
Off of even the animation too. Then.
Yeah.
Because it's on Netflix now as an animated series. I won't say cartoon, but it's an anime. And Netflix is putting out now. There's a lot of American anime or Netflix anime series.
Yeah, I see.
Do people in Japan like see that and roll their eyes like, oh, they're doing anime?
Maybe they don't know. I guess they don't know. But there's kind of like a little bit of the people in Japan. They're not so happy that there's like American influences coming into manga. Like some of the mangas being aimed more at American influences, and they're not happy with that at all. And some of the creators as well are not happy at all that the manga's going to change to make it more Americanized.
I know that a lot of them aren't happy with some of the translations that come across, and I know that a lot of them also aren't happy with, we're America. We're where the comics have boobs, and always have, and now suddenly there's this generation like, those anime girls, they got some awful big hooters. You should tame those down a little bit. And Japan basically said, "Oh yeah, watch this."
But yeah, like it's if you like understand why they have big tits, big boobs, and big eyes, it's more of a cultural thing. Like they have big eyes because Japanese women don't have big eyes, so they want to make them more appealing. Same with the big boobs.
What I've never
typically
why they don't look like they're Japanese. They look very Western characters, and yet they'll still give them Japanese names.
Yeah, well, they want to make it like different, appealing. So yeah, that's why they look kind of Western with big eyes and things like that. Yeah, the Japanese market, they want to experience new things.
Well, there's all kinds of new things to be found in the Japanese market of comics. I'm finding out, so it's and it's not all just big eyes. I mean, you've got your Ghost in the Shell kind of stuff. You've got your Fist of North Star stuff.
Yeah.
So there are different styles. As much as I tell my son he's watching, I'll commit I won't know whether he's watching Naruto or if he's watching Beyblade, because I'm like, oh, it's that kid with the green spiky hair. What's his name? It's like, no, Dad, it's a different kid with green spiky hair. There's always a kid with green spiky hair.
They love spiky hair, yeah.
They must sell a lot of Aquanet or gel over there. Oh, wow. We're getting way off track. Paul, thank you so much for bringing your comment onto the show tonight here.
You're welcome.
Conversation. I've learned a lot. Hopefully, the people who are watching, they're probably like, "Oh, RJ's finally catching up on manga. He's discovering there's Japanese comics." But hopefully, people watching have also learned a few things about what's going on in the Japanese culture, and the comics there. And I'm hoping that more will follow you into creating more comics on the crowdfunded scene coming out of Japan, so that we can throw some more cultural flavor into the mix here.
Yeah, that'd be good.
We don't need to be Image Comics 1990 version 2 all the time, which is what I'm starting to see a lot of.
Yeah, like once I get the conventions done, maybe I can do some more networking, meet some other artists, try and bring them in. Say, yeah, come on, I'll help you with some translations.
Yeah.
And see what we can get done.
10 years from now, you will be contacting Funimation about voice acting over the Nin-Nin Nini cartoons while you're sitting behind your big desk, and 300 mangaka working for you at $40 a page rate.
No, well, maybe not $40. I think if that was me, I would pay them good money. Yeah. For me, money is not that important. I'm not that is obsessed by money, so I would.
You've limited yourself to 20 copies of books, so obviously not.
Yeah, like I'd love to get my books out, kind of a lot more people noticing. But ultimately, this story is written for my daughter, so I would never change it to to sell more copies for a market. Why changing my story and ruining the initial intent for my story?
Sure.
The initial thing is, this is my daughter's book. I want people to enjoy it because it's my daughter's book. Yeah.
And that's what's going to make the story so much better, because it's going to be done with that kind of a heart in the story behind it, not, what can I do to commercialize this as best as possible?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Again, thank you for coming on the show. Folks in the chat, appreciate you being here so much. We're not going to ask you to like the video. If you don't like it, that's okay. Thumb it down. It's fine. But I do ask you to share it, because that helps the creators that we get on our show be seen by more eyeballs. And that's just, that ripple effect will help more people see this and help, Paul get more backers onto his project here. So thank you for coming. We don't have a show without you. And as always, we just hope